Fallout 3 is probably one of the best games I have ever played, and I'm going to leave it at that. No, I'm just kidding, my review keeps going. Don't anyone who left, please come back, although this is pointless because you can't hear me. Anyway, Fallout 3 follows the story of your character, who is you, pretty much. You can make them look like you can make them have your name, you can even change your sex if you just happen to be a little boy who was trapped inside a little girl's body, or the other way around. In any case, Fallout 3 is excellent in terms of story. It really doesn't give you more than you can handle. A lot of these RPGs will give you, a story, some evil guy is taking over whatever the hell the place is, and it's up to you to save the world. Well, yeah, eventually you do sort of do something along those lines in Fallout 3, but it's never actually, said to you that this is all up to you, that you're never on your own, basically. The objectives are always, for you, pretty much. Initially it's find your dad, and it builds from there. In terms of graphics, though, the game looks really, really good at a glance. However, if you do look closer, you will see things that show obviously not enough level of polish. However, this is overlookable because the game is just great, and with this sort of quality in the game, it doesn't need to look great, and this emphasizes what a lot of people say, to the graphics wars, or gameplay over visuals, which is very much true in Fallout's case. However, the visuals, you will notice textures sometimes, some things look really, really sharp. Everything in that little, facet of the game looks great. However, there are others that, don't look so crash hot, so you'll see some of the ground textures won't look that good. Some of the textures on armor, or, walls, or then, I don't know, a door perhaps, just random things you wouldn't usually expect look washed out and faded and, not of high quality. It really sort of detracts from the rest of the game because you can see this high level of polish everywhere else, but then there's a bad visual. However, you're probably not going to be really noticing that because, as I've said before, the game is fucking fantastic.
Zombie programming.
The gameplay in Fallout 3 is just excellent, from my point of view. Now please do bear in mind the game is going to be different for every single person depending on how you choose to play it. Now this game is very big on choice. This means that if you want to play it as a shooter, you will play it as a shooter, and if you want to be diplomatic and talk to everyone, you can do that too. However, I will say it is almost impossible to go through the game without firing a shot. There are sections where you do have to fight no matter what happens. It sort of distracts from the RPG element, but ultimately the game is what you make it, so if you want to do anything, it's up to you. The game pretty much just gives you a world and says, here, go nuts. This is great in the most part, however you are a bit spoiled for choice basically. There are so many things to do in the world. Now there's the main quest obviously, which will take you maybe 12 to 14 hours depending on individual ham-handedness, and there's also side quests which are just individual, side major quests I guess you could call them. And then there's also freeform quests, which you won't actually get objectives for, but you'll get an audio recording saying, I left this stash in wherever the hell it was and take it to this guy if you find it, and then you'll get a reward, but you won't ever actually get an objective. Now one of the big things in Fallout 3 is VATS, which I'm using right now in the game. Now this allows you to pause the action and line up whatever shots you need to do. So if you're trying to shoot them in their arm for whatever reason, then yes, you can do that. VATS is great, however it is a little bit buggy sometimes. There are also a crapload of perks which you get with every level. Now one of them you're seeing right now is Mysterious Stranger, which is pretty fucking awesome. It's just this random guy shows up with a fucking 44 and starts popping caps in asses. Other than that, there's The perks range from really useful to just, aesthetic kind of pleasers, like Bloody Mess makes your enemies pretty much explode when you kill them. Other than that, in terms of gameplay, as I've said, it is what you make it. A lot of people complained about, they felt it was weak for whatever reason. I have this to say to them: make it better yourself.
You're out of your right freaking mind.
It's not all good news, however. The game on release at this stage, as far as I know, there is no patch for it yet. It's buggy as hell. You'll see things like you saw just then, weapons hovering in the air. Some characters, like what's going to happen right now, will just start walking through the air. Others will float off into the distance. People will disappear. You'll have some objectives to go to like a town or something, and everyone in there will be dead. Sometimes you get texture pop in, which is what you're seeing right now. And the game crashes like a motherfucker, basically. Now this was partly due to my use of Xfire, but other than that, every now and then the game's going to crash for whatever reason. It doesn't seem apparent as to what exactly causes it. Sometimes, you'll fire a shot from your gun, the game will crash. Other times you will open your Pip-Boy, the game will crash. You'll search a crate, the game will crash. You'll try to travel somewhere, the game will crash. At the time of the review, in my second game, I'm trying to go to this particular city. Now, whenever I get close to it, the game crashes. Now, this doesn't make any sense because I've been there before in the same game. But in any case, looking past the crashes, as long as you're up to speed on using quick save, it's not going to make that much difference. This game has taught me that quick save is very much necessary in pretty much any game where you're doing anything of any kind of significance, or just filibustering around. Pretty much you're going to hit quick save every 2 minutes, because like me, the game is going to crash a crap load. However, I did talk to a friend of mine. He said he got very few crashes, so it could be something in my machine, possibly drivers. In conclusion though, Fallout 3 is just a brilliant game. I really can't say any more than that about it. However, as I've said before, it is what you make it. Now, I found the game to be pretty damn fun, and the options it gives you for choice in terms of what you can do in quests, your moral choices, stuff like that, and just options in speech. Like, you'll be talking to someone and it'll give you an option, and you'll be like, damn, do I have to do this or that, or blah blah blah. And it gives you a crapload of moral choices too. You'll get some choices like, blow up an entire town for profit, or, leave the town be and help them disarm the bomb. Other than that, it's just, a great game. It will make you laugh as well. It's funny as hell in some places. You'll talk to children, and I forgot to mention there are children in this game, but the first time you talk to a child and you get the option to tell him his mother's a bitch and he should go jump off this building, you are going to laugh your ass off, because despite being black, it is funny as hell. Get this goddamn game.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. 6 o'clock TV hour, don't get caught in foreign tower, slash and burn, return. Listen to yourself churn.